Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. UFC 135 main event for the UFC World Light Heavyweight Championship. John Bones Jones against Quinton Rampage Jackson. Now, before I get into my prediction of the fight, John Jones is in the position of Anderson Silva. Him and Anderson Silva are, always in that same pedestal whenever they enter a fight. Is it their time to lose? Is it their time to, have that humbling experience that will, help them, progress as a fighter? Because even though it may seem that, guys like John Jones might be perfect and might not have any weaknesses, I mean, it's always somebody out there that can expose them. It just has to be the right opponent. That's all it takes. It's just the right opponent, because it doesn't matter how flawless you look in competition. There's always something you can learn, and there's always a weakness that can be revealed. You may not have known you had it, but somebody else did. So if I think that there's anybody that can reveal this to us, I think it is Quinton. Because, number one, Quinton is stronger than John Jones. Quinton hits harder than John Jones. And I think that Quinton is a better wrestler than John Jones is. Now, don't get me wrong. John Jones has magnificent wrestling. I mean, he has taken down some powerful men in his last few fights as well. I mean, he took down Bader. He took down Matt Hamill. So John Jones does have the capability of taking down Rampage. I'm not knocking that at all. And I know John Jones. I've heard him say. I was watching a couple of his interviews earlier today on MMAfighting.com and one on UFC.com, that he was going to try and stop Quinton. And I found that very intriguing, being that, John Jones is really not the guy to predict endings of fights. I found that very interesting. And it kind of makes me wonder that, if he's supposed to be this disciplined, humble champion, why are you coming out predicting, that you're just going to easily just run through Quinton and stop him? You sound more like the challenger than the champion, Johnny. I'm just saying. I know the John Jones fans are going to jump on me, when they see this video. I know they're going to be sending, all types of hateful, low down stuff. I already know, but I'm just saying, I have the right to speak my opinion, and I am a Rampage Jackson fan. Yes, I will admit that, but I do give credit where credit is due. John Jones, he's a hell of a fighter, and he's the UFC champion for a reason, light heavyweight champion for a reason. I mean, although I think it was a matter of being in the right place at the right time, but still, that's just my opinion. But anyway, so I believe that Quinton Jackson is the right opponent to to exploit, the weakness that we never knew that John Jones had. And I think what people are blindsided by is that the reason why John Jones is so dominant, or one of the reasons why I think he's been so dominant in the light heavyweight division, is because he's never fought anybody his size or even close to his size. I mean, look at all the guys that he's fought. Most of the guys that he's fought have, been smaller than him, so, yeah. So if you're fighting, guys that, are like 5 inches smaller than you, and their reach advantage is not as long as yours, I mean, of course you're going to enjoy that. But I mean, Quinton, I mean, he may not be as tall as John Jones, but he's a lot bigger than Jones is, as far as like just pure muscle. Quinton is ripped, and Quinton is a pretty tall guy himself. I mean, he stands like 6'1", 6'2". I mean, I know John Jones is like 6'4", 6'5". I mean, I know that, but Quinton, he's got some good size on him too, So yeah, and I think that John Jones has never met a guy that has the strength that Quinton has. Notice I said the strength that Quinton has. I'm not saying John Jones has not fought powerful guys, because he has, a la Ryan Bader, a la Matt Hamill. But I'm talking about Quinton's strength is, something, unique, very unique amongst those two men. So, yeah, I think that's what makes Quinton, that one opponent, that can really give Jones a hard time. So, what I think, what I think is going to happen in the fight is, I think that John Jones is going to try to start off quick, like he always does, at a fast pace. He's going to, he's gonna, just start, throwing out all the tools at Quinton at one time. He's probably gonna hit him, with some leg kicks. I know that, because I know he's watched the tape of, the Forrest fight, and he probably watched, some of the Rashad Evans fight too. And maybe some of the past Shogun fights, because Shogun was, giving Quinton a hard time, just with head kicks and stuff. So, I mean, I know John Jones has, been watching all of the fights that Quinton has, been defeated in. I know he's gonna try to use some knees. He's gonna try to get him in that clinch. I mean, I pretty much know like what this guy is going to try to do. He's going to try to come out and surprise Quinton, just with a flurry of strikes, whether it be, spinning roundhouse kicks, head kicks, flying knees, leg kicks. I mean, it's basically going to involve kicks, knees, and punches. That's what his whole arsenal is going to be standing up. And I think what Quinton needs to do is, I think Quinton needs to automatically try to close the distance from the beginning. And, he needs to get Jones, in that body lock and, just soften him up, with, little tiny punches, dirty boxing, knees, and eventually, try and drop levels and, get that double leg and take him down. I think that's what needs to happen. If John Jones is able to escape that, Quinn needs to, try and catch him, with a little sneaky uppercut or whatever, on the way out. So it could kind of, wobble Jones a little bit. And then, when they come back to the center of the octagon, try to get on the inside again. And, even, one thing that I've noticed that a lot of guys have not been able to do, that has been an open target on John Jones throughout most of his fights, none of his opponents have yet to try and leg kick him. Everybody's so eager to punch him in the face and find his chin. People, his last few opponents have failed to set it up the right way. The guy's damn near 7 feet tall, and his lead leg is just waiting to be leg kicked. And I think if Quinton was smart here, I think he would target that. I think he would try to target his legs and try to take that speed and that athleticism, because John Jones won't be expecting that. He'll just be expecting Quinton to come out, and try to hit him on the chops. So I think Quinton needs to be a little bit unpredictable himself and try to, try to chop Jones down with those leg kicks. And, with this, bigger thighs and, shin muscle that Quinton has, if he really tried, if he attempts to leg kick John Jones, he could really hurt him. Because, let's be honest. John Jones, he's still a little stream beaten. He might have, some effectiveness, in his elbows and his knees and his feet. But if somebody kicks those things like with some real technique and force behind it, he could hurt that man. And if Quinton was smart, that would be, the thing to do, is to set him up, with the leg kicks, try to take his wheels out. And then, when John Jones realizes that he doesn't have, that tag team partner in those legs, to really do what he wants to do, then he's going to start resorting to the fist. And then he's going to try to start brawling and trading with Quinton. And then that'll be easy pickings for Quinton. And Quinton, or will even have a better chance to find his chin and possibly knock him out. So, I'm just saying, if Quinton was smart, that's what he would do. But then again, I don't know the game plan of Quinton, so we'll just have to see. Maybe he might try something different to try and set up, the big knockout shot. But I definitely think he needs to wear John Jones down, because one thing I've noticed in mixed martial arts, when you're a tall guy, and when you have a weight advantage over your opponent, sometimes that could be an Achilles heel. If your opponent decides just to wear on you, and try to make you tired, that could be a big problem. We've seen it happen, to plenty, stronger, bigger guys in mixed martial arts in the past. So, if Quinton can use his bulk and his mass and, try to, like I said, clinch with Jones, pin him up against the cage and, use dirty boxing and knee him, in the stomach and, in the thighs, and, just try to, fire those little short uppercuts from inside the clinch. I think he could, batter John Jones, because I believe if John Jones, if he does get desperate in this fight, he will try to trade with Quinton. I do believe that for sure. Bottom line. Now, on the other hand, what Quinton needs to avoid is Quinton just needs to avoid that flurry. Just weather the storm. Use the footwork. Try not to be flat-footed. Move around, move your head. Stay away from the flying strikes. And if you can catch Jones, basically what I mean by, if you can counter Jones, at any point while he's trying to, unleash that flurry on you, then that would be nice to see. And I think Quinton does have the capability of doing that, because I think he does have good striking defense. And another thing is Quinton, of course, needs to stuff John Jones takedowns, because I know we're gonna see John Jones try to take Quinton down in the fight. And Quinton does have good takedown defense, so I believe he can stuff Jones takedowns, no matter how good people say they are. But what I think is going to end up happening, man, is I'll put it like this. I would expect John Jones to win this fight, being that he has the reach advantage and, he has the more arsenal of strikes. But, like I said, being that Quinton is so tough and he could take so much pain, and being that John Jones is going to be so eager to finish him, I think that's going to end up costing him. And I think at some point, Quinton is going to end up catching him. And I think when he catches him, that'll be over. So I'm picking Quinton Jackson, KO. new light heavyweight champion. Yeah.